Hey everyone, my name's Dustin. Welcome to my channel, Flip and Ship. I'm really excited for you to be here today. So I got a whole lot of larger electronics that need to get tested, possibly fixed. We'll get them listed, and the hardest part probably shipping them out, which once you have the right materials, it's really not all that bad. So here on these shelves I got some units that have already been listed here, and we're just kind of waiting for the right buyer. I like to wrap some of them in plastic just to keep dust off them, just in case they're sitting around for a little bit. It's a really good way to store them. You can get these shelves at like Home Depot or Menards. And here is basically my testing station. So if you have the space, it's really going to help you out to just kind of dedicate an area to testing electronics. It's going to make things much smoother. I get a lot of my electronics from the Goodwill bins. At my Goodwill bins, the electronics are only $1.19. But the only thing is that you can't test them. So, you know, you're taking a gamble, but sometimes you're paying $1.19 for like a $200 electronic. So it can work out. I do end up going to the electronics recycling center probably about twice a month or so with old stuff that just didn't work or is not worth selling for parts. So I got plenty of like VHS tapes up there. Got some laser lens cleaners and cassette tapes. Also plenty of different like CDs and Blu-rays. Here's a 4K just in case I need to test one of those out. Also, I have just about everything hooked up into this converter here, and I got it nicely marked so I can easily know where I'm going. Here is a DVD player that is just basically having an output to make it even easier. Got all of the cords here that are going to tell me where each of these are going to make testing a lot easier. So this is test 3. I'll hook that into the output, and then that will go right here. So I'll make sure to press test 3. That's going to go and give me the video signal here. DVD out to record in. Now this is coming from this DVD player, and I've got a uncopyrighted DVD in there so I can test the recording on VCRs that way. It's going to make things so much easier to label everything. Then coming down here we got power cords here just in case they're missing. It's always nice to have some of these handy. I got a TiVo remote there. Here's a Roku remote just in case. Just nice to have all these cords and adapters hanging around, just handy so you can quickly test some stuff. And also I have everything hooked into this more modern receiver. This will handle HDMI. So I got a couple of speakers that are coming right there. That's coming from the center. That's live there. So if I need to test a speaker real quick, there's just a DVD player. I was listening to some Led Zeppelin, and that Nintendo is for testing hand-eye coordination. Also have a VCR for testing and rewinding VHS tapes. Also a VHS rewinder there. That also helps. And of course a tape deck for rewinding and testing cassette tapes. If you're going to sell like a single cassette tape for like 10, 12 bucks, you want to make sure that's going to work, of course. And I got some other retro gaming and gaming systems down here that I really haven't set up yet. Here's a Wii U I got in the Goodwill bins for like $3. Then also I've got just a small guitar amp if I need to test out microphones or guitar pedals or whatever. So let's get to it. So the first two in the pile here are a couple that are actually pretty good, and they definitely need some fixing, but that's okay. This is something that can actually be fixed pretty easily. Now this one here is an SVHS VCR, which is actually pretty good because it was only out for a short period of time and it makes it more valuable. And this DVD recorder is always nice. It's not just an average DVD VCR combo unit. So as we do some research on this SVHS VCR, we see that we can get $60 to maybe even $100 plus shipping, which is pretty awesome. And this Panasonic DVD recorder can get $150 plus shipping, it looks like. So that's pretty awesome. And we'll look at the ones that are for parts or not working, and those can get 50, maybe even more, plus shipping. So when it comes to testing out a VCR, you just want to make sure that all the functions are working. Fast forward, rewind, pause, and I like to test the recording. I like to put that in my listing that I did test a recording. That's just going to give the customers like a peace of mind that everything is going to work. So to do that, this is coming from my DVD player that is playing a DVD right now. We've got the output, of course, going to the test 3, which is right here. So when we turn it on, we should get signal, which we do. So we'll just throw on the tape here, press play. We're seeing that it's working. Alright, so now that we know that it's playing at least, let's test the recording. Let's make sure I've got the movie Pecker here, which is one of my favorites with Edward Furlong and Christina Ricci. Super good, and that's hooked into this input line here. So we will hit record. Now it's recording. So you see here. So let that just record for a little bit. Then I'll hit rewind and play again. And then there you go, it cut into the new recording. And the pause works. So now all we need to do really is to make sure that it will eject. And I'd be pretty confident sending this to a customer saying that it is fully tested, it works, it's going to work perfectly for them. Shouldn't be any problems at all. Except for the flap on this one, I noticed it was completely broken. But even if you're MacGyver, I mean, you can maybe do something and use it for personal use. But this DVD recorder did show some promise. The little knob wasn't broken at all. Now, I can't really test the VCR until I take this off. This is kind of in there. I'd rather leave it how it is until I take the case off and see if I can actually fix it. But right now we can test the DVD recorder side. So I got a blank DVD here. All this video is going through the DVD recorder now. So this is working. We can even just kind of, we got the disc in there. We can even just see if this would start working right away. It does say that it is recording.
This is important. Vogue magazine wants to do a fashion shoot called Slumming with Pecker.
You have to hold on, Rory.
It's writing the information. Looks like it's working good already. Awesome. So if that's finished, we should be able to press play here. And there we go. This works. Now that we know that, let's see if we can turn this $50 machine into a $150 machine by fixing it. First, we just gotta take all the screws out really quick. So here it is inside the VCR, guys. Be really careful. I actually do have this plugged in so I can see exactly how this operates. So I was able to see that the plastic piece, even though it didn't bust off on that part, it busted off on the part that holds that little knob there. So this is actually unfixable. Sometimes the little trap door there will just like come apart off its little hinge, and you just need to finesse it back in there. Still, this unit is worth like $75–80, so oh well, we tried. So we'll just continue on. We still got 4 more big electronics to test, and I got all of these from my brother-in-law, Derek. He sent me a picture. He's like, hey, I just picked up all these off the side of the road. Do you want them? I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm seeing a Sony DVD VCR in the box. There's a DVD recorder there, a VCR DVD combo. Of course I want them. So I went and picked them up. This Mitsubishi VCR is pretty cool, but there's just little things about it that weren't working correctly. I just wasn't confident sending it to a customer, so we'll just leave that one. For some reason, the Mitsubishi VCRs really aren't all that valuable, but we'll take it to the recycling center and they can do whatever they want with it. It sure is nice to have a little spot to just rapid fire test these electronics. And next up we got a Zenith DVD VCR combo. This one started to look like it was gonna actually be sellable. The VCR was working fine. I went and checked the DVD player with Christmas Story. So hey, thanks Derek, I really appreciate that. Looks like I can get about $40 plus shipping for this one. And I was saving the best for last. We got the Sony VCR DVD combo, and this one's in the box, which is going to make it even more valuable. So I was pretty excited to see if this was going to work, but unfortunately it didn't. While we're at it, let's test out this cassette tape boombox. So we got fast forward's working, rewind is working, play is not. I'll give it another try, just because old electronics sometimes just need a little nudge. But if it's not working, that's okay. It'll go to the recycling center, but not before I recycle it for some parts. I'll just use those another time. When it comes to cleaning up electronics, the prettier it looks, the happier a customer will be. I can just set it right in, hook it on up, and start using it. So you just need a few cleaning supplies. You want a damp cloth, you want a dry cloth, you want a toothbrush, and maybe an occasional Q-tip. And your best friend when you're cleaning electronics is the electronics duster. You can make the toothbrush a little bit wet on the washcloth here if it's not really coming out very well, but you get the idea. You just want to get in there. You can get all this really good. Especially even in here, it gets pretty dusty. You can take your electronics duster, really give it a good old cleaning there. Once you get all that off, you can go through it and give it a nice wipe. And sometimes, like, especially like on the screens here, you don't want to leave that wet, or it leaves that sort of like, you can see that. So you want to wipe that off right away. That's what this sort of dry cloth is really good for. It's really easy to just do that on the back too, and wipe the top off. And it's ready for picture day. Always nice to get that sale. Now what I got here, I've got a Nakamichi tape deck. Now this one here is a CR4A. Now I sold this February for around $500, which is amazing. So I wasn't taking any chances letting this go through the mail without a ton of padding. Now I'll show you what I did. It's maybe a little bit overkill. You don't exactly need this much, but for this type of electronic, I wasn't taking one chance. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking pipe insulation that I got from Home Depot. You can use like pool noodles. So I've cut 4 of those equal length, and I'm putting those on each of the corners of the unit. Now even that's really good right there, to just wrap the rest of it in bubble wrap, many different layers, or if you got thicker bubble wrap, that really helps like I've got. Now because I wasn't taking any chances, I was putting some rails of the tubing on all sides. And because I wrapped the whole thing in plastic, I'm able to just put tape wherever. Again, this might be a little bit much, but I know for sure that it's going to get there in one piece. And this bubble wrap is the best for shipping electronics. If anybody knows where you can find this amazing type of bubble roll film, please let me know. I went to order it again and it was sold out. So if you don't have the foam tubing or the big meaty bubble wrap, that's okay. Just take normal bubble wrap, wrap it as many times as it takes to get a good inch or 2 of padding there. And then you can even fill the box with, say, heavy-duty craft paper or something else, just to give it a nice cushion. And of course, plenty of tape. Well, that about wraps up today's video, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Congratulations on your latest awesome electronic sales. And until next time, my hat's off to you.